Ever notice how some people just pick things up crazy fast? Like, the guy starts drawing today, and 2 weeks later, he's selling art on Instagram. Looks like magic, but it's not. It's not talent, not a high IQ, and definitely not coffee sprinkled with fairy dust. It's a method. A system so simple it feels like a scam, and that's exactly why no one ever told you about it. Today, I'm going to show you how literally anyone, yes, you, can become a pro at anything in record time. No talent, no luck, just smart repetition. Here's this feeling a lot of people carry around in silence. Like they're always starting something new, but never actually getting good at anything. You try to learn guitar, give up, try to meditate, quit. Sign up for a coding course. And a week later, you can't even remember your login. But it's not because you're lazy, dumb, or unfocused. It's because no one ever taught you how to actually learn. School shoved content down your throat, made you memorize formulas, repeat definitions, follow rules, but never showed you how to turn trial into real progress. So you grow up thinking you're the problem, that you lack discipline, that other people have some extra something you don't, and that shuts you down. Because deep down, you believe trying again will just end in more disappointment. So you procrastinate, stall, self-sabotage. You buy courses and never finish. Watch videos, get hyped, never apply. Read books, remember nothing. And with every failed attempt, your confidence keeps leaking, like a cracked cup that looks full but slowly drains from the bottom. Meanwhile, time doesn't stop. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. And you're still stuck with that sinking feeling, that you're falling behind. Worst of all, you start settling for a job you don't love, settling for a draft version of your life, wearing a smaller version of yourself like it's normal, dull, functional, but dimmed. And when someone around you starts to grow, you feel it, that pinch in your chest. Maybe envy, maybe sadness, maybe a ghost of the person you could have been. But way deep down, there's still a part of you that hasn't given up, a part that still dreams of being really good at something, of mastering a craft, a skill, a calling, a part that doesn't want to just survive. It wants to build something, leave something behind. And that part can wake up. But it needs a map, a path, a system. And that's exactly what you're about to get, a roadmap to break out of stagnation and enter the real cycle of mastery. Simple, human, repeatable, and powerful. This is your time. You don't need more motivation. You need a system that works even on your worst days. A cycle that doesn't rely on willpower, but on consistency. Because you do have talent. What you've been missing is the right structure. And it starts right now. You're about to learn how to study without drowning in information, how to practice without needing to be perfect, how to track your mistakes, and turn every failure into fuel. The practical formula. Here's the truth nobody told you. You don't need to be a genius. You need a system, a simple, repeatable, brutally honest cycle. It's called TED. And no, it's got nothing to do with motivational talks. TED is a method. 3 steps. Trial, error, document. This is how the best in the world learn anything. And this is exactly what you're going to start using right now. Trial. This is where you dive into the material, but not just for the sake of it. You're going to watch videos with a sharp eye, read books with a pen in hand, use YouTube like a lab. Everything with one goal, to extract what actually matters. No more hoarding PDFs or saving links you'll never open again. Your focus now is to learn with intention, like you've got a practical test in 30 minutes. Tip: make summary cards. Write like you're teaching someone else. Don't just copy, rewrite it in your own words. That forces your brain to process, not just skim. Error. This is the part that scares most people, which is why most people get stuck here. After you study, you take action, immediately, today. Will you mess up? Absolutely. And that's the point, because messing up right after learning locks it in. If you just studied sales, make a call. If you watched a video about design, open your editor. If you learned new English words, force a conversation. The goal isn't to get it right. It's to crash into your limits, to find out what you really understood, and what just felt like it made sense. This part's uncomfortable. It'll be awkward. It'll feel like you're wasting time. But it's the opposite. This is where knowledge turns into skill. Document. Now that you tried and probably crashed, it's time to write it down. But not just any notes. You're writing where you failed, why you failed, what you didn't understand, what you do differently. Like you're running an autopsy on your own performance. That becomes your compass. On the next round, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from your last mistake. This becomes a loop. TED isn't a straight ladder. It's a cycle. You learn, you test, you document. Then you learn again, test, adjust, improve. Every round brings you closer to mastery. And here's a brutal truth. If you don't apply what you learned within 24 hours, your brain flags it as irrelevant. It deletes it. This isn't about studying more. It's about practicing before your memory fades. The TED method works because it turns passivity into action. And that's what separates people who hoard knowledge from those who build real skill. It's the antidote to stagnation. And starting today, it's your weapon. Now let me tell you a quick story to prove how it works. Gabriel, 26, frustrated designer. He kept jumping from course to course, thinking he needed to learn more before trying anything real. The result? A bunch of open tabs in Chrome and a portfolio that never left the page. One day, he tried TED, picked a video about UI design, watched it carefully, summarized it on a single sheet. Instead of opening another video, he opened Figma, tried to apply what he saw. It turned out bad. Awful, actually. But he wrote down, didn't really get how to align elements. Felt unsure about colors. Froze up on typography. Next day, he just studied alignment. Tried again. Took notes. Then colors. Tried again. Documented. 3 weeks later, he had delivered a real project, with a real client, giving real praise. That's the power of the cycle. It pulls you out of spectator mode and into builder mode. You stop dodging mistakes and start collecting them like clues. And the best part? It works for any skill. Public speaking, TED. Writing, TED. Cooking, investing, coding, presenting, playing piano, TED, TED, TED. But heads up, the method only works if you use it often. Doing it once a month won't cut it. This isn't magic. It's deliberate practice. It's consistency backed by strategy. It's how you turn your brain into a precision learning machine. And with that, you're no longer at the mercy of motivation, because the process itself starts pulling you forward. Most people wait until they feel ready to act. TED flips that. You act to get ready. You mess up to learn. You document so you don't repeat. And at the end of each cycle, you look back and realize you're no longer the same. That's real mastery. And now you've got the map. What are you going to do with it? You'll mess up. You'll doubt yourself. You'll want to go back to the old pattern. But every time you use TED, even just 20 minutes on a bad day, you'll be one step closer to mastery. And after 30 days of doing that, you won't even recognize yourself. Someone who was already talking about this, even if not by this name, was Anders Ericsson, the Swedish psychologist who coined the term deliberate practice. In his research, he found that the best in the world at anything aren't the ones who practice the most. They're the ones who practice better. People who observe, mess up, analyze, and adjust. That's exactly the same principle behind the TED method. Ericsson discovered that repetition without intention doesn't lead to excellence, but repetition with focused adjustments, that rewires your brain. And the best part, no one's born with this. The brain adapts to targeted effort, and that's true for anyone. If this clicked for you, hit subscribe right now. No fluff here, just practical tools to flip the script. Every week, new content for people ready to stop consuming and start building. Smash the button, turn on notifications, and let's go. There's a moment in life when it hits you. You realize it's not about doing everything. It's about doing it right. It's not about studying more. It's about practicing smarter. Not about chasing motivation. It's about building a process that works, even on days you don't want to get out of bed. That turning point doesn't come with fireworks. It's quiet, like a sudden moment of clarity. The difference between people who master and people who stall isn't talent. It's the system, the big trap. Thinking you need more time, more energy, more content. But what you really need is more intentional action. You already know enough to take the next step. You've learned plenty. Now what's missing is the courage to apply, the strategy to fail smart, and the honesty to review what's real. The TED method isn't just a way to learn, it's a way to live. You start seeing every challenge as another practice round. Every mistake becomes a clue. Every win becomes proof. And with each full cycle, you change without even noticing. Did the switch flip? Then let's move to the next round. You don't need to become a whole new person. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just need to move differently. When you apply TED, the change is almost invisible at first. But it's real. You stop beating yourself up for not being perfect and start feeling proud for showing up. You learn to fail on purpose, to track your own evolution. And that awareness, it changes everything. Suddenly, you look back and realize that anxious, stuck, perfectionist version of you, it's gone. And all because you decided to leave passivity behind. You chose to become the author of your own learning journey. It's not about rushing. It's about not quitting. It's about making growth inevitable, about no longer being a hostage to doubt and becoming a partner of progress. You made it this far. That already says a lot. Now the next step isn't complicated. It's committed. Pick a skill. Apply TED. Mess up. Adjust. Grow. And if you ever lose track, come back here. This channel is your checkpoint. Save this video, share it with someone who's stuck. And remember, excellence isn't forced. It's built. One cycle at a time. Your time is now.